So how did I make $294 trading Apple call options? So looking at Apple 616, 616 at 1142, 616. 1142. $11.42, which would be this candle right here. So I played call options on Apple. As soon as it landed on the 50-day moving average, waited for a bounce off the 50-day moving average. At one point it broke below the 50-day moving average, but it regained that 50-day moving average, waited for the bounce off that 50-day moving average, and then at 12:56 I sold out the position. And when I sold out the position, I made an easy gain of $294. Yeah, $294 trading Apple call options. So this trade was just pretty straightforward. All you have to do is just use the moving averages to your advantage on the 30-minute time chart, and there you decide to either play calls or puts. So a way that you can do it yourself. Let's say you're looking for stocks to trade, right? You go to this free website called finviz.com. You'll go where it says screener, and then if I recommend clicking on where it says market cap and click on Omega. I recommend it for beginners. Click where it says performance, click on where it says perf YTD, and that's going to show you a list of stocks from worst to best. And basically we could go over an example. Let's see, let's just be random. Let's choose HD number 10, which is Home Depot. HD, let's see if we can make an example out of Home Depot, right? But okay, yeah, we can. So on the 30-minute time chart, right? So you can see that Home Depot was in a bullish trend. The 9 and 20-day moving average were above the 50-day moving average. And basically what you could have done is you could have waited for Home Depot to ride the trend. First, try to see if it can break that 180 or 200-day moving average. Once it happens, try to wait and see if it could land on the 9-day moving average. And so you could have taken two opportunities here on the 13 candle or on the 1330 candle. And so let's say you played, let's say you played this candle, the 1330 candle. Let's say you played Home Depot call options as soon as it landed on the 9-day moving average, right? So where would you sell out your position? When would you know to sell out your position? So you want to observe the previous candle's resistance level. So for me, right, I'm looking at the resistance level around 353. So 353.59. That's basically the resistance level that I want to sell out when basically as soon as I see that, okay, I bought Home Depot call options on the 9-day moving average, I'm gonna sell out as soon as it approaches the 353 resistance level. That way I can secure the bag and move on to the next trade. So basically also try to keep in mind that if you're aiming for a certain percentage target, try to be realistic. So what I mean by that, so what I mean by that is, see where it says 9.77%, right? So if it says 9.77%, basically for me, what I'll try to do is I'll try to aim for a specific percentage target throughout the day. I'll try to be realistic and be like, okay, I want to aim for a 5 or 10% target. And if I'm feeling really confident in a trade, I'll try to aim for higher percentage targets, but that's totally different. That's, it's just an example that I'm giving you guys. So basically, try to be realistic when you're aiming for these percentage targets. Try to be, not so greedy in a way, because if you're greedy, you're going to lose on money and you're going to regret it, because you're going to be like, oh, well, I could have made a 5 or 10% target. Now I'm down like 10 or 15%. Also, try to know when to cut your losses. I feel like a lot of people struggle knowing when to cut their losses. So a way that I like to do it is by, if I feel like the position is not going my way, it's looking very bad for me, I'll try to cut my losses once the position is down either 10% or 15%. Typically, I won't try to take a bigger loss than that. I try to be careful. I try to, be realistic of like, okay, well, if it broke these certain moving averages, or if it's, breaking these important support levels throughout the day, then it's most likely going to keep on declining, and my position could be in a very bad spot if, this particular stock that I'm trading could, my position could be down by a lot. So I'd rather cut my losses, early, once the position is down either 5 or 10% or 15%, move on to the next trade and just, take the loss, a small loss instead of a 50% loss, a 60% loss, etc. Right? Try to be realistic. Also, like I keep saying this, try to be realistic of when your position is up either 5 or 10%. Try to be realistic. There's times where a lot of people feel like they could reach a 100% gainer, a 50% gainer, a 60% gainer. It's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible, but will that happen always every day? No, that's not going to happen always every day. I feel like a lot of people are, I don't know, I guess a lot of people feel like they can reach those numbers every day, but that is very, very wrong. I feel like that is quite impossible unless you're trading like 0-day SPY options. Then cool, that is possible, but trading 0-day SPY options is very risky, and it's very I would say very degenerate. It's basically gambling at that point. I mean, if you're willing to spend a little money there and not care to lose it on a small 0-day SPY option, then by all means go ahead. But that's I feel like playing 0-day SPY options, or options that expire in a week or 2 weeks, sort of, are it's kind of like gambling in a way. But if you got like a certain strategy to it, and you know how to trade 1 week, 2 week options, then you should be good to go. You know where to take your wins, you know where to take your losses. But that's pretty much it. That's the you can use finviz.com to find trades, to trade either calls or puts, and try to use the 30-minute time chart. Try to use those moving averages that I keep on mentioning, which are the 9, 20, 50, 180, and 200-day moving average. That's pretty much it. This is not financial advice. As always, take care. And I'm not sure if you've seen the news, but supposedly I think the war between Israel and Iran is officially over. They're about to come to a ceasefire. So try to watch out what happens with the market with that news that was announced in the afternoon of today. So keep an eye on that. Hopefully you guys are safe, stay safe, and that's pretty much it. Take care and bye.